What is going on, everybody? Bob29 back in the lounge yet again. Make sure to kick back, relax, grab some snacks, maybe even put on a little bit of music in the background because today we're going back to basics, part two. So I left you with a lot of very generalistic information last time in regards to, showboats having more health, strikers having more damage, the built-in uh, you know, criticals that some characters have, and things like that. But I wanted to get a little further in depth today. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of touch on the roster as a whole today. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the Superstars tab, the Titles tab, and the Moments tab as well. Lots of things to talk about. First things first in regards to Superstars. So your superstars, as we talked about, I believe in the first video, we've got 3 colors per character, and you'll notice that they all have 2 colors, 2 moves of each color rather. And then again, as of right now, as of this recording, 6-star gold, there is 3 colors of both the primary and secondary move colors as well. We're going to touch base on MP charges, how you can get those MP charges. We're going to touch base on trainers and coaches for entourages, what they do, and we're going to touch base on what every character has as a form of a trainer or coach, which I kind of briefly touched on in the very first Back to Basics video, but a lot of you may not know that you need a certain talent level to reach in order to get that respective bonus as a trainer or as a coach. So in this particular case, I pulled up Jacob Fatu. He's just the top of my roster right now. You'll notice that the baseline talent for his trainer is 300 talent, which is essentially the recruit point at a 1-star bronze level is somewhere around 301 or something talent. So everyone has this as a baseline. You'll notice silence gems start with 15%, blue moves 1 more MP, purple gems 10%. And then as he grows in talent, the trainer also grows respectively. So 5K, the silence goes from 15 to 20. 9K, the silence goes from 20 to 35. 15K, the silence goes from 35 to 50%. 17K, the purple gem goes up from 10% to 20%. From 17K to 18K, you'll notice that the silence goes from 50% to 60%. Up to 21K, the silence goes from 60 to 65. The purple goes from 20 to 40%. And the blue moves will go up from 1 to 2 MP. And then again, you'll notice that the purple gem goes up a little bit more. And then when you get to 31K, both the purple and silence will go up even further. He's just a one-off example of a character that has a very long tree of his trainer evolving. That has nothing to do with how good he is as a fighter. This is not a built-in bonus that he gets on himself. This is what you can use on other characters. So for example, Jacob Fatu cannot train himself in either of these positions. He will not be able to gain the 2 blue MP, the silence gem, the purple gem damage. That is not something that a trainer does for themselves or what a coach does for themselves either. The whole goal of this is to look through your roster in regards to characters that are good enough that you might want to use them elsewhere. So for example, you'll notice that this character here, Xavier Woods, the Trickster one, the New Day Woods, says purple moves start with 4 more MP, 4 more move points that is, and then any color submission moves do 5% more damage per turn. So back to our moves, right? You'll notice that each of these moves has a number corresponding with it. That is the MP charge that you need in order to get that move to trigger. And that is something that you will activate. It's not something that'll just automatically happen when you get to that MP. So, for example, Jacob Fatu has 2 purple moves that start at 6 MP. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go ahead into a career match right now and just kind of show you what that will look like. So let's wait for everything to load here just a little bit. Bam, bam. All right. Now, something else to note is you have perks. So for those of you that are unaware, perks, when you go into a fight, You can manage your character, you can replace your character, or you can go and check out your perks. So your perks, for example, will tell you the game mode that they will give you those benefits for. So for example, the limited time tour perks that I have are different than the limited time showdown perks that I have. So for tours, I can increase the battle speed up to 2 times speed. So that's something you can get at the beginning of the month for your King of Kings subscription, your pass, whatever you'd like to call it, for tours, for showdowns, and if my game will let me scroll, and for blitzes down here. You'll notice that all of those are 3 game modes that you can get your 2 times speed activated on for a small subscription to the King of Kings pass. So that's the very first one. The second one is your monthly tour perks. So that will give you 20% more health in all tours. It will let you start with 3 more color move points in all moves. And then everything that you matching all color gems, will charge moves of that color by 2 or more MP. So for example, let's say that you make a 3 match of purple gems. This is a gem matching game after all. When you make a 3 match of purple gems, you will get that 3, which is 1 per each gem of purple, and you will add 2 more because of this perk. So you'll actually get 3 plus 2, you'll get 5 purple MP. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you what it looks like when you go into a match with tour perks and with an MP trainer, and you'll see that you'll start fully loaded with those purple moves. You'll notice also that I have a blue move equipped. The blue move is not going to be fully loaded. So my blue move is only showing at 5. My purple moves are showing at 6. That is because of the trainers and coaches that I have. So Xavier Woods, back to what he does. Jesus, sorry about that. Xavier Woods says, I don't like why it keeps on getting rid of it. Xavier Woods says purple moves start with 4 more MP, and any color submission is a little bit more damage per turn. We're not worried about the submission. Jacob is not using a submission in this setup. You'll also notice that Santa Hogan, any color move starts with 1 more move point. He is a coach, not a trainer. That is one of arguably the greatest coaches in the history of this game. Something that a lot of players try to get their Santa to +1 starting MP, specifically for a reason like this. So you notice that those were tour perks. Let's say you're in a different game mode. You may not get a plus starting MP from those perks. What this setup does is it allows you to start with that MP, even if there's no perks attached. So you're probably also asking yourself, well, Bob, why are you starting with 5 blue MP? That doesn't really make much sense. So if we go back to it, the tour perks, right? Tour perks give you 3 starting MP. Santa will give you 1 more starting MP, so that is 4. And you're probably asking yourself, where's the 5th MP coming from? Every time it is the start of your turn, you will get 1 MP. That is something that you get for every turn, every color, not every game mode. For example, boss, the start of your turn is a new round. It is not after a swipe. A lot of players get that confused and they think that every swipe should amount in a new turn. That is the case in feud because your opponent is going. That is the case in tour because your opponent is going. That is the case in showdown because your opponent is going after the swipe. But in this particular case, we don't have that situation with boss because that is a 60-second turn. Okay? So that's something to keep in mind. But we start out with 5 blue MP because 3 for the perk, 1 for the Santa, 1 for the turn. So now I'm gonna go through this, matches, whatever, is not a big deal. But I want to see if I can maybe find a purple match for you all. And maybe show you how that will charge up. I can't find a purple match, so that's fine. We're just gonna kind of go through this. But anyway, back to the trainers and coaches. Again, each trainer and coach has a value that corresponds with the talent of the character themselves, and then you may put that character on somebody else as a trainer or a coach that will give them that benefit. So in this particular case, I used Xavier Woods on my Jacob Fatu because Xavier Woods gives 4 MP. So you can use Xavier Woods to give 4 MP to anybody. It's not just a Jacob Fatu. The only person you can't give 4 MP to, for purple that is Xavier Woods himself. You cannot train the same character with the same trainer. It just doesn't work. Okay? So these are some very pivotal trainers that you should keep in mind. So just to kind of touch base on a lot of the very original trainers that we have. So the original Sting, the Icon. I don't know if he's still in one of the VIP passes or something like that. He is the red move starts with 4 more MP trainer. We also have Butch from the Bushwhackers. He is also a 4 red MP trainer. We're also going to have George the Animal Steel. George the Animal Steel is a 4 more green trainer, and you'll notice that a lot of these old guys got a 9k boost. It is a very insignificant boost, but to get yourself to starting with 4 MP, it's a 5k talent amount, which is typically 3-star silver talent level. So George the Animal Steel is up next. We already went over Woods. However, we did have Bray Wyatt, and then Bray Wyatt actually got reskinned into another Xavier Woods. This one is the Power of Positivity instead of the New Day. You'll notice this is the black move starts with 4 more NP trainer, as well as 5% less damage from green gems, so 5% armor to green there as well. And then we also have, I believe it is this Kofi, the Power of Positivity, Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston has a +4 yellow MP, and for him, he has a moves that generate red gems will generate 1 more red gem trainer bonus. So if you have somebody who utilizes not only yellow MP but red gems, Kofi will give you 1 more red gem. And last but certainly not least is Jerry the King Lawler. Jerry the King Lawler will give you 4 blue MP. Again, all of them unlock their maximum MP at 5,000 talent. If you are also a newer player who just so happened to get lucky and unlock any of the 3 following characters, Carmelo Hayes actually has a 26,000 talent trainer, where it says both purple and black moves start with 4 more MP. Not only him, but there is Roxanne Perez, the Prodigy. She is also 26,000 talent for green and red moves start with 4 more MP. And last but certainly not least, Mr. Braun Breaker, Break Everyone. He is again a 26k talent trainer for yellow and blue moves start with 4 more MP. So these are what are known as your MP trainers. They are very essential trainers to your gameplay. They help all of your characters start turn 1 so that you may just use your moves without needing to go through swiping the gems and giving up a turn to your opponent, who may also have these MP trainers equipped, and they don't have to worry about swiping their gems, and they will just use their moves on you, which, as you saw earlier with Jacob Fatu, using moves can be very damaging, which is the whole point of the game. Santa Hogan is the last MP individual that we have here. You'll notice Santa Hogan is a coach, not a trainer, and at 17k, any color move starts with 1 more MP. He goes all the way up to 31k. I'm not expecting any sort of update to this as of this moment. He may get a 35k trainer when December comes around. The recording time of this is November, so December is only a month away, and they've been giving out a lot of 35k trainer and coach upgrades. So for all we know, there may be something that is in the pipeline, but I do not have any inside information on that, nor will I really be rushing out of my way to go and spend as much as it will cost to get all the way to 6-star gold. His tokens are typically very, 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 very pricey. But if you can find a way to get to 17,000 talent, which is 5-star bronze, you should be able to get that +1 MP as a coach. That will significantly help. So in the case of Jacob Fatu, his moves are 6 MP. Let's say that we're playing in something that is not a tour, so we don't get the starting MP from the perk, but we do get 1 for our turn because we start on turn 1. Let's say we get the 1 for Santa, and then let's say that we get the 4 for Woods. That will be exactly 6 MP, and then that allows you to use another trainer in this particular position instead of needing to use 2 sets of purple MP trainers and then 2 coaches. Typically, your trainers have more impactful outcomes as to making your character stronger than coaches do. You can tell Santa only is a 1 MP coach, whereas trainers are +4, and they only need to be 5,000 talent versus Santa all the way up at 17,000. So pretty significant difference there in regards to what is required and how strong some trainer boosts are over some coach boosts instead. Now, something else to keep in mind, I told you we were going to talk about superstars. We're also going to talk about titles. So titles today, what we're going to go through is not the whole entire new strap filter itself, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a quick little feature that we have on the strap filter. So you can sort by what we call affiliation straps. And I'm going to go to equipped ones as well. So for example, remember we were talking about Carmelo. So Carmelo Hayes has the black and purple MP trainer. An affiliation bonus means that you are allowed to use this superstar to hold a total of 2 active entourage contracts at once. What that means is that Carmelo Hayes, for my account and my roster, I can use him on 2 separate superstars at the same time. So for those of you that are wondering, well, why would I do that? Because Tour is only 1 opponent. You know, I'm using 1 character in the ring at once. Or Showdown, I'm only using 1 character in the ring at once. We do have the Feud game mode where, thankfully, Feud is actually live right now in regards to setting the lineup. Let's say that I wanted to go into Feud with a lineup with a lot of characters in it. Let's say that I wanted to have all of my characters starting turn 1. Jacob Fatu might be purple MP. Julius Creed might be purple MP. Now I can use my Carmelo on both of them in order to set up this lineup for Feud where I can still be turn 1 with multiple characters. That is a huge benefit to having affiliation straps for trainers and coaches that are very strong, and they significantly help how effective you can be in these game modes. It doesn't just have to be a tour. So that's what I wanted to touch base in regards to with titles. There's plenty more to go through here. A lot of questions about why would I put gem damage on someone? Why would I put move damage on someone? What other bonuses should I consider putting on people? There's plenty of bonuses here that when you go into the filter, you can click on the little question mark. It will read off all of these bonuses to you. You can see them here. I don't need to go through every last one of them. But what I will tell you is that certain characters have certain move sets that definitely lend credence to using one thing over the other. So for example, Jacob Fatu, as you saw, we turned a bunch of gems into multiply gems. We made a 7x2 area that the pin bar did not move, and then we turned all the remaining multiply gems into purple gems. So my gem damage on my gem damage character is where I'm going to most likely want to be building a strap. So you'll see that I have a 100% gem damage strap on my Jacob Fatu. Ignore these skill plates. This was for a different game mode and a different move set than what I was just using. But you will notice that there is a gem damage bonus because I'm using Jacob Fatu as a gem damage character. Now somebody else, for example, that you may be asking about, well, why would I ever use move damage? Well, that's because there are also move damage characters in the game as well. So Bailey here, it says deal almost 1,000,000 damage. Let's just call it 950, 940 to round it. 940,000 damage, and then deal 1.5 million damage. You'll see that it says make the bottom rows into silence gem, increase your black gem damage for a couple of turns. I'm not worried about any of that. I'm worried about hitting almost 1,000,000 and 1,000,000 damage. And then I can see that it says deal 3,500,000 damage, and then last but certainly not least, deal 1,100,000 damage and increase your black move damage by 200% for 1 turn. So for example, this is a character that I want to put move damage on. So my best move damage set for Bailey is a 50% move damage strap. And let's go ahead and I will show you why some of you might like move damage instead of gem damage. I will go ahead and we'll play a quick little match against Jade Cargill on the road. Something to keep in mind, Zombie Bailey did just come out in October. We are still currently in the era of 99 MP. So the month that a character comes out, they have 99 MP, as well as the month afterwards. So for example, my moves are all starting out loaded turn 1, even though you can see that I only have 1 trainer here, which simply says black finishers do more damage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to boost my my move damage for black moves by 200%. My move is dealing 2.5 million damage because of the straps and the medals that I have equipped. And now my black moves are going to be 12,800,000 and 20,400,000 just on this one move alone. So keep an eye on Jade Cargill's health here as it completely gets shrunk from, what was it, 76 million, and she's down to 40 million just by me clicking these 2 moves. I haven't even touched the board. And last but certainly not least, we have the belly to belly suplex. 64 million damage and converts all of the silence gems on the board into black gems. You'll notice that she is already in danger and we have recycled everything flawlessly. So there are certain characters out there that will use gem damage. There are certain characters out there that will use move damage. It depends on where your comfort is, what straps you have available, what move damage medals you have available, what gem damage medals that you have available. There's a lot that goes into it. To touch base really quickly, every character has an era and a class. So you'll notice that Jacob Fatu is the modern era, and he is an acrobat class. So the strap that I have for my Jacob Fatu is a modern era acrobat strap. That is what I have for my Jacob Fatu. You'll also notice that now in today's day and age of the game, our straps are genderless. They used to also have a requirement of male or female on them. That no longer exists. So now for Bailey, I have a modern era striker strap, and this one has a 50% move damage bonus on it. So that is something to keep in mind, is keep an eye out for era and class combinations of straps for characters that you want to use. Now something else that you'll notice here are these medals. So there are 4 medals. One is the move defense, one is the gem defense, one is the move damage, one is the gem damage. For Bailey, what I'm doing here is I'm going and taking my takedown 2 sets, which I apologize, I have so many excess medals over here. So my takedown 2 sets that I have are very simple. When you click on one, it will show you in very small text here the rarity of the medal. So for example, the blue medal is rare. So let's look at this medal. This is an unleveled medal over, whoopsies, sorry about that. So this is an unleveled medal. You'll notice that it says uncommon. You'll see that it only starts with 1 substat here. This one is a rare medal that will start with 2 substats. And this one is an epic medal that will start with 3 substats. So for example, on a level 1 uncommon medal, what you can do And now again, part of the wonderful update that we have is we have the instant level up. But I'm going to just show you one at a time just so that you can understand. What you're going to do is you're going to be able to level up your medals to make them stronger. So the move defense, where it says all move defense plus this percentage, or for this flat amount, that's essentially giving you defense against when people use moves against you. Let's say that their move is 10,000 damage. In this case, you would take off 750 of it. In 10,000 damage, in this case, you would take off 550 of the damage. So we're just going to go ahead and level this one up really quickly, and I'm going to show you that it goes from 550 to 688. So that's one level, right? And you'll see that the level up chance here, it is indicating that it's a guaranteed level up. Now, something to keep in mind, every 3 levels that you put into a medal, either a substat will level up, or what says here, new substat will get unlocked at this level. So because this one already has black move damage unlocked, when I level this next medal up, it's going to give my black move damage substat an increase by a random amount. I believe it can go up to what the amount already is, what it starts out at. So for example, black move damage can go up to 6% right now. So let's go ahead and hit that. And we went up to 11.06%. So that's a very good substat increase. And now you'll notice that I'm going to hit it one more time, and now you'll notice that our guaranteed chance went to very high plus. But when I hit level 6 on this medal, we will get a new substat. So you'll notice that we unlocked purple move damage plus 375 as a flat amount versus black move damage plus 11% as a percentage amount. And one other thing that you should notice is it says the set bonus. This is what is very important about this. The set bonus indicates how many of these medals you need to have equipped in order to get this bonus. So a set bonus of 2 means that you need to have 2 of those medals equipped. A set bonus of 4 means you need to have all 4 medals. So for this case, 2 takedown 2 medals will give you 40% all move damage, and that is why when you see Bayley here, she has 2 sets of takedown 2s, which is why she's getting another 80% move damage on her. So the strap itself gives 50%, takedown 2 set gives 40%, another takedown 2 set gives 40%. And so now I'm not really worried about the move defense on my Bayley. I'm not really worried about the gem defense on my Bayley, and I'm not really worried about the gem damage on my Bayley. But what I am worried about is the move damage on my Bayley, because she's all move damage. So I have a takedown 2 black move damage plus 200%. Now the difference on these, if I can find one, if I even still have one, let's see if we still have one of these that are flat amount. Goodness, I don't think I do. I might have sold them. Here we go. Well, that's not a level 5. Do we have a level 5 anywhere? There we go. There's some level 5s. So this level 5 medal, as you can tell, is also maxed out at level 15. The amount of damage that it does is 60,000. That is very insignificant compared to 200%. When we talked about Bayley's damage before, she was dealing 940,000, 1.5 million, 3.5 million damage. 60,000 isn't going to cut it. But if you go ahead and put on a 200% medal, now my 950,000 gets boosted by 1.9 mil. Now my 1.5 million gets boosted by 3 mil. Now my 3.5 million gets boosted by 7 mil. There is a significant amount of increase when you get these takedown 2 medals as well. So you'll notice here that the other thing that I've gone ahead and done for my specific Bayley is I went out of my way for takedown 2 sets, and I found these substats for black move damage. Again, I don't need 300 damage, But if I can get 10% of 3 million is 300,000 damage. That's a lot more than just 300, obviously. So what I've gone ahead and done is I have set her up with as much black move damage percentage as possible. Even though the main stat of this medal is a move defense stat, I can still pick up more damage on it with these substats. And that is what makes them so important. So you'll notice there's 14% there, there's almost 12% here, and another 15% here. So it's a significant increase to how much damage my Bailey will do on just the substats alone. I have effectively another takedown 2 set on her just by having these 3 medals equipped. That is not the big move damage medal. So again, the same thing goes for gem damage as well. I'd like to make sure that each and every last one of you will look into the medals that you have and make sure that you equip the right medals to the right characters. And that is very, very important, because the last thing that you want to do is put on a random medal set or some padded or something along those lines that doesn't help your character out. So when you go for move damage strap, you should go for move damage medals. When you go for gem damage strap, you should go for gem damage medals. There's more to go in regards to titles, moments, titles, which are straps, and the set bonuses that medals have, not moments, my apologies. So for example, some other set bonuses that exist, there's the original Fury and Takedown. Armor is the all gem defense setup, which I will gladly go into further detail in a back to basics video in the future. Vitality is actually increasing the health of your superstar, and there are some other medals such as Running Wilds, which are very rare. I don't even know if they exist anymore, which are simply a little bit stronger than Fury 2's, but only for one color, not all of the colors. So Fury 2 is your all gem damage by 40%. A Running Wild is 55% yellow gem, for example, or 55% red gem, depending on what Running Wild you have. And the Takedown 2 compared to the Fury 2, you'll notice the Fury 2 is 40% all gem. The Takedown 2 is 40% all move. So something to keep in mind there. Also, one final thing before I wrap up on the medals, something to keep in mind. You'll notice almost all of these are percentage medals. Again, when you look at the flat amount of gem damage, I believe this maxes out at 630 damage versus 35% damage. So if you go to a character that's, 6-star gold, this guy has a couple of hollow stars, but even still, 630 damage isn't even, 10% of his gem. It's barely over 1%. So why would you take 1% when you could have 35%? There's a significant difference there. And last but not least, in regards to our back to basics today, we're going to touch on moments very quickly. So a lot of you have probably looked over moments and wondered, what the heck are these things? What do I do with these things? How do I work these things into my roster? These are very helpful. Some of these moments are not the best. Some of these moments are very good. And I think I touched on the NXT Arrival moment very briefly in regards to my first back to basics, which I kind of felt like I glossed over, and I didn't really want to just do that. So for example, the game mode that this helps out, you'll see that it says Faction Feud, and it will give all of these characters the boosts that are listed here. So for example, someone that uses multiply gems will increase their strength by +5. So somebody like Braun Breaker, for example, who creates a 7x3 area into strength 5 multi-gems, those will be strength 10 multi-gems. You could also see that there's a 100% all color submissions do 100% more damage per turn. So someone like Nikita, who uses a sub for 367,000 will get an additional 367,000 damage per submission turn. So that goes for every single character that is in this list. They all get all of these boosts in this game mode. So that is a very essential addition to a lot of characters as to what makes them very good or very usable in competitive game modes. Something to keep in mind, I think it's right here, the rarity is what it is. Oh no, I apologize, it's the tier. So the tier, you'll notice there are C tier moments, B tier moments, A tier moments, S tier moments, and S plus tier moments. The reason for the tier is how many people you need to have at a certain rarity in order to get the moment to its max level. The moment's level will be equal to the highest rarity that you have of the characters in the moment. So for example, the C tier moment requires 2 superstars to be at the following rarity, which for me will be 6-star bronze or above. That is because I already have 2 characters at 5-star bronze, so I have a 5-star moment. If I only had 2 characters at 4-star bronze as my highest of the bunch, it would be a 4-star moment, so on and so forth. A tier 1 moment can only go to level 5, tier 2 to level 10, tier 3 to level 15, tier 4 to level 20, tier 5 to level 25, and tier 6 is when your moments can max out at level 30 and give you the maximum bonus that you can possibly get out of the moment. So in this particular case, I have the Undertaker, which I got earlier last month at 6-star gold. You'll see that he mentions that he is at 6-star gold, but my moment is only at a 5-star, not a 6-star, because he's the only one that I have here, and I need to get one of these other characters up to 6-star bronze or higher. So that is something to keep in mind as it goes up. So C tier requires 2 characters. B tier will require 3 characters. So you'll see that I have 2 check marks on these 2 characters because they are 6-star. But again, my moment is only a 5-star because I do not meet the minimum requirement for a B tier moment to be maxed out. I need 3 of them. When you go on to A tiers, you'll notice that it is no longer 3 of them, but instead it is 4 of them. This particular moment, I only have one of these characters at 6-star bronze. I would need to take up 3 more of them to 6-star bronze in order to get the moment to its max level. It is also particular, this one, not something that I am losing sleep over not having at a maxed out level. The S tier moment, of course, as it continues to go up, the requirements continue to go up. The S tier requirement is 5 superstars, and you'll notice this one is actually only 4-star because I don't even have 5 superstars at 5-star bronze. So you'll see that I have the Sheik is 5-star, Butch is 5-star, Doink is 6-star, and Gooker is 6-star. Those are all 5 or higher, but my other characters here are all 4-star gold. That is not something that I really look forward to. It's not a strong enough moment. Whatever the reasons are totally fine, but this is an example that it shows you will need a minimum of 5 superstars to be at a 5-star rarity or higher for me to go from a 4-star to a 5-star moment. And then similarly, I would need 5 of these characters at 6-star bronze to go from a 5-star moment to a 6-star moment. And last but certainly not least, we have the S plus tier moments, where these will show you that you need a minimum of 6 of the superstars to be at the rarity or higher. So I obviously have 6 of them at 4-star or higher, but I only have 3 of them at 5-star or higher. So I would need to take up 3 more of these characters to 5-star, and then I would need to take 6 of them combined up to 6-star to max out the moment. Now, finally, last but not least as well, there's the moment currency, the moment coins. That is what you use to level up your moments. So I don't really have any moments other than the Ghostbuster moment right now, but I can show you what it will look like. So you'll see it costs a little bit of coins. You'll also see it costs a little bit of currency. And then it is going to also cost you shards. And this is why my Ghostbuster moment is not maxed out. It is at a tier 6, but I don't have enough experience to level up the moment. You'll notice that each character has a corresponding experience amount, and that is per shard. And you'll notice that each level will also indicate how much experience that you need in order to level up the moment. So just as an example, I won't actually click the button, but I will show you if I were to equip John Cena's shards and to use some of them, it will go through 24 of them. It will take my Ghostbuster moment to level 2 and give me 2 experience on the way to level 3. If we do it again, we'll go all the way down to 130 shards. So we've used up 70 shards of John Cena, but now we've gone from a level 1, which will show all of the level 1 bonuses here, to a level 3 moment, which will show all of the bonuses here. If I were to select all of them and max out the moment, the furthest I can get to is a level 8 bonus, which is just insignificant and not worth me doing. I don't have any, false hopes of grandeur that they're going to bring back the Ghostbusters, especially because of how expensive the license was. But there is no incentive for me to go out of my way to level up that particular moment. That being said, again, there are certain moments which are very significantly helpful for recent characters. For example, CM Punk Zombie got this wonderful moment that gives him 50% red gem damage and 150% X break damage. You'll notice that this moment does not indicate a game mode, which means that this is a universal moment. This will happen in any game mode in the game, period, whether it's boss, showdown, feud, tour, blitz, stipulations, marquees, anything under the sun. That is where these game modes will be affected. That's where the bonuses will go through, and it will be to each and every last one of these characters. So I feel like I have talked a whole lot. I feel like I may have goofed a couple of places. But that is going to be it for our Back to Basics number 2, where we touch base on superstars, titles, moments. The titles consist of the straps and medals. The moments, obviously, that we just went over consist of certain boosts for certain characters in certain game modes, or universal ones for all the game modes, as well as the currency revolved in order to level them up, the requirements in regards to taking them up. We touched base on superstars as best we could in regards to trainers, in regards to coaches, in regards to how you can get certain characters at a trainer and coaching level to use them on your other characters in the game. And that also consisted of talking about affiliation straps and why you might want to use those affiliation straps on certain characters, because you use them more often than not in competitive game modes such as Feud. I will most likely be back sometime next week with another instance and iteration of the Back to Basics with 2Bob. I might record something in regards to some Feud content. That way a lot of you out there can kind of get familiar with what it is like to set up a lineup, what these fill bonuses mean and stand for, and what you can expect to see depending on how strong your lineup might be, learning how to feud, trying to understand the bonuses that are attached with how you can score big in feud, or just how to score significantly enough for yourself to try and progress through the game. There is a plethora of things to go through, and yes, I know some of you out there look and wait for me to use the word plethora. So there you go. We're 40 plus minutes into the recording. You finally got your wish. But there is a lot of things that we can still touch base on in regards to getting back to the basics that a lot of us take for granted. I do look forward to making a showdown-based back to basics as well, to try and teach people a lot of the intricacies behind a tag match in our Game of Champions. There's a lot left to explore with this game, so I truly hope that you all stick around if there's anything that you're missing, to hopefully be able to pick up on a lot of that from this series. So please make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, all that type of good stuff. Most of all, share with your friends that feel like they're missing out on something in the game. And even more importantly, honestly, please leave some comments below in regards to what you think of this series. Do you think there's something that I missed out on? Would you like to be informed more on a certain topic? Do you think there's something that we could have done a better job on going a little further into detail on to help explain to the player base as a whole that is trying to learn how to pick up the game of WWE Champions? It really and truly tremendously means the world to me. And I thank you all for listening to this and to tuning in. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day. And I will be making much more content very, very soon as I continue the climb to becoming an official content creator, to making even more content for all of you out there. So have a wonderful one, everybody.